Our guest, Andrew Robert Burtt. So, Andrew, just giving you a little bit outline what we're going to talk about. If you don't know, I want to talk a little bit about your journey going from a W-2 job to, inside real estate investing. Obviously, talk about some deals you've done personally. Of course, get into the 400 houses that you've wholesaled, and then we're going to round her out with the 7-pack of houses.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
How's that sound?
Do you think you need an icebreaker before this, or are you ready just to go in and not be like super straight-laced?
I think I can handle not being straight-laced.
I want to pick one of the icebreakers.
One of the icebreakers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Give me one.
Swimming pool or beach? And describe your perfect
That's a
scenario
good one.
there.
What
Yeah.
about a swimming pool
No.
that's overlooking the beach?
I love that. Not this or that, both.
That's not the question,
both.
Andrew.
Usually, I feel like I would say pool, but since it's so gross outside right now,
It's
in the
snowing
moment,
here in
yeah,
St.
it's
Louis.
bad.
Yeah.
I'm going beach right
All right.
now.
What about would you rather?
Which beach?
Yeah.
And tell me your perfect setup when
Grand
you're at the
Cayman
beach.
is where we went on our honeymoon, and 7 Mile Beach there is pretty unreal. So I would go there
I
right now.
shouldn't do this.
I know you have a handful of kids.
Yes.
But in your perfect scenario, are they there with you?
yeah, they would be there
With a nanny to watch them.
with some sort of coverage babysitter action.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be there, of course.
A cooler?
Cooler,
What would be in the cooler?
umbrella. We'd have some waters.
Yep.
We'd probably have some White Claws.
yeah.
Any flowers?
Yeah, some flowers.
Yeah.
Some Mary Jane's flowers.
Yeah, those are nice.
Probably a Diet Coke or two for the wife. Yeah.
Maybe
I
a
think it'd be good.
sandwich? A beach
Yeah,
sandwich?
Sandwich.
A little
Maybe
bit
some
of turkey,
some
little
Reese's.
turkey and some pepper jack, maybe with some mayonnaise mixed in there.
Frozen Reese's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds fire.
That's quite the icebreaker. We're just gonna leave it at that then
Yeah.
and get rolling.
I'm in.
All right.
All right, awesome, Andrew. So you kind of walked that path from W-2, employee outside of real estate to working with us, but inside real estate. So why don't you talk a little bit about that journey and why you decided to kind of set aside a pretty promising career to go into the real estate industry?
Yeah. I would say, aside from seeing what you guys were doing and always being intrigued with real estate and seeing, the success that you guys were starting to build, COVID really kind of jump-started my decision to explore it, I guess. So I would travel a lot from my previous job, sales, business development type job in the food distribution industry, and COVID kind of shut us all down. So I think I bummed a MLS login from Lucas and kind of talked to him about buying houses on the side, maybe doing a little wholesaling while I was sitting at home at the home office doing nothing. So I got the MLS login, found a few as-is deals.
Yeah.
Walked them with the actual listing agent since they were the ones that had to let me in. I wasn't licensed
Shout out to
yet.
Jacqueline, by the
Jacqueline,
way. She's
I
super
know.
cool.
Yeah, she wound up representing us on a couple of them.
Do I know Jacqueline?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the first one I bought, FasterHouse actually rehabbed.
Yeah,
on
we did.
Humes.
Yep, I remember that one.
And I don't know.
Sean was here for like a year before we did a rehab for him.
And rehabs don't
Poor
always
guy.
go perfect. I think we made like $12,000 on that house.
I was gonna say I feel like I made 3,000 or 4,000,
Probably, yeah.
and I was like, this is awesome. I should
Yeah.
do that again. So, picked up a check from Phil, and did it again 4 or 5 times over
Yeah.
the course of.
While you still had your full-time job.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I would be at home doing my conference calls, which were always filling up my day, and then I would sneak out and look at a house or two during the day. Put in offers. Not all of them worked out, obviously, but had a decent amount of success. I look back, I'm like, how did I buy 5 houses in 6 months? I don't know. I haven't even done that now in Dispo half the time.
Yeah,
But-
because you had so much time. I remember you being in your old career, and you guys had some sort of operational backlog, and you're like, I'm a sales guy, but I can't sell anything right now because we can't
Yeah.
deliver the product. I was like, dude, that's got to be so frustrating.
Yeah, that's right. With COVID, I was not able to bring on new business at that time, so I was just kind of trying to keep all my clients at arm's distance for whenever we could launch them again,
Yeah.
which was awkward. 'cause
So you
I'm-
had some free time is kind of
Yeah.
what I was getting at.
yeah.
So
Yes.
you use your free time to start something, which I think is what a lot of people do. They use that free time to start to learn a skill or do something before they jump all in. You got to have that level of comfortability. You got to prove it to yourself, probably to your family, that's something that you can do. And quick shout out to Devin. He said he's bought a house and has gained $100,000 in equity because of our content.
Nice.
Us and Grant are the best. I'm assuming he's talking about Grant Cardone. But you throw fun comments in there, and you will get shout-outs, and we will talk about it. So, Andrew.
Yeah, it was getting a little lit with co-host Matt the other day in the comments I saw.
Yeah, people were getting wild. Marty's like a freaking
Clark Kent.
a natural. I don't know if you watched any. You watched
I watched a lot of it.
He was a natural.
I was commenting. You guys never posted one of them.
Well, I don't think we saw them. We don't see all the comments, I don't think, because I didn't see any of yours. I don't know what platform you're on. So, Andrew.
Yes.
Got a little bit of experience and decided to take that leap.
Yeah, got some confidence, got some experience, got a little taste, and Luke and I sat down, I don't know, 2 or 3 times over the early part of 2021.
Yeah, man. I remember
and
a couple
I was
of those.
equal parts excited and terrified because I had a little success at my last job, was climbing the corporate ladder, and, you know, there were perks to the corporate life, travel and sports games, concerts, all that cool stuff, but
you got to go to a Drake concert.
I was like, at the end of the day, I can just do that stuff with my friends rather than use work as a means to
use
do it.
Luke's money to go to Drake.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
It's
I remember
kinda the same
sitting
thing
at
now.
a restaurant on Main Street, St. Charles, and we were talking about, I think it was a recent deal that you did or something. I think you made like $5,000 on one deal before you started. I was like, dude, you can do this once a week. I was like, but you got to get out there and network and do this and that. And we were looking at your personality assessment, and we're like, you know, maybe this isn't best for your
You hate
personality.
people.
Because Andrew's a little bit more of an introvert and a little more process oriented than like your natural salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so I don't know if you'll be able to do it. He goes, for $5,000 a week, I'll be able to do
I'll
it.
figure something out, right?
Yeah, I remember that. And you did do it. And you did a damn good job of just figuring it out. And then we're able to kind of transition into a more natural role for you, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
As
Andrew.
Dispo, you mean?
Yeah,
Yes.
as Dispo, yeah. We'll get into that. So, Andrew, so Dusty's in Aruba right now. What do you think he did today on the beach?
I actually read a 7-page long email of him recapping the U.S. Marshals and police that are chasing our crackheads in Imperial today.
Oh goodness.
So,
Well, that's
he was
interesting. Well, what do you think
emails
Dusty
early.
did on the beach in Aruba today?
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Dude, go do something.
What do you think he did today?
He saved somebody's life.
He did
No
CPR and saved
Yeah.
somebody's life on the beach. Such a Dusty thing.
That is so dusty.
It attracts to him.
Yes.
Needing to save lives.
Yeah.
CPR, was it a shark attack? Or
I
what are we talking
I
about?
don't know. We don't know any details. All I know is that CPR on the beach and save somebody.
I don't know
Oh
if
my
CPR is
gosh.
going to do it if
Yeah.
it's a shark attack.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Andrew, I think
true.
that's, yeah.
That'd be a tourniquet.
Yeah.
I do that too. Though.
Yeah.
I think you want to slow the blood flow down.
Yeah, Anyway, so Andrew started out being a house buyer and moved into disposition. So why don't you kind of talk about this dispositions role and what you like about it and kind of how you've used your skill sets to really elevate it?
Yeah, I love Dispo. At first,
I guess define what Dispo is because honestly, a lot of people might not even know.
Disposition. So, as we talked about acquisitions, we have people that go out and buy the wholesale properties as is. If FasterHouse doesn't rehab them, or if you all don't add them to your portfolio or someone else in the office's portfolio, then I'm in charge of working with our local investors and dispositioning or selling those properties to them.
Okay.
So I took that role over from Matt in November of 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically he introduced me to as many as he could out of our 35-ish 100 buyers on our buyers list. And when I get new properties, I have a email and text list that it goes out to. And basically we find the best deal with the best fit of a buyer for any of those properties that we have to sell. So it's been really cool to see all the buyers that we work with, all the different kind of areas that they focus in, whether it's a certain part of town, midterm rentals, long-term rentals, fix and flips. People want to buy trailer parks. You never know. So it's interesting to see all the different backgrounds of real estate investors that we work with.
For sure. I think it's a fun job. So generally, he's kind of like, if you want to look at super simple terms that aren't exactly accurate, but he's like a real estate listing agent for investors. I mean, you're an agent, but you don't list it through that, but you sell houses to investors.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Off
like
market, not on market.
Sweet Dispositions, great track. Oh, is that a song?
Sweet Disposition.
You know that one?
I don't think I
Don't know it either.
I'll have to put that
Who's
on
the
my
artist?
list.
Can we play that one?
Is that Aerosmith?
Let's play some Sweet Disposition. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a banger.
I think you should make a song called that
Yeah.
if there's not one.
I'll add it. We should have put it on when I walked in.
All right, Lucas, you ask him a question. I'm asking him all the questions.
Yeah, you talked about I think people want to know how to find deals, right?
Yeah.
And I think working with people like you who control the deals for some of these larger companies in your market in St. Louis, it's FasterHouse is one of them, but there's some other ones there. Bigger companies like us in every single market that a lot of them have like a sole disposition guys, like the gatekeeper to all the deals, and that's you for us. And maybe just some tips and tricks on the best way to approach you, like when someone comes on to understand and vet them and realize that they're for real and not going to screw us on a deal, and maybe some tips and tricks for new investors out there.
Yeah. Last night would be a great deal, your local networking events. We had Buyers Club last night, which we host. We always shop a deal or two at that event. So obviously going to your local networking meetups, meeting face-to-face, I think is huge.
So you want to meet that person face-to-face
eventually.
Like
the more hands you shake, the more money you make.
Gosh, gangster.
Of course. Yeah. Put that on a track too.
Yeah, sweet disposition.
Yeah, I love meeting people face-to-face, whether it's coffee at the networking event, grabbing lunch, or even a lot of people just, I feel like, pop into our office too.
Yeah.
Just
You're
show up.
good with that?
Yeah, for the most part.
Would you like a heads up? Like, hey, I'm going to swing by.
Yeah.
Maybe bring you a coffee or something like that.
Yeah, crumble cookies.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something little. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive, but not always taking from you, right? Here, let me provide something to you, and maybe in return, somewhere down the road, you can give me a deal of some sort, right?
Yeah.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Would you stop it with
the one-liners for the love? I had this conversation 2 different times yesterday where people are like, I know you probably get asked this all the time, but how do I get stuff before you blast it out to your network? And that's a really hard question for me to answer, because if I tell everybody before I blast it, then I might as well just blast it. But staying top of mind, honestly, when I was a buyer, I always wondered how wholesalers could keep me top of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I tell people, don't feel bad for texting me every other week or something and saying, hey, do you have anything in my buy box right now? Because a lot of times we might have something that the guys are working on, or that we just locked up under contract and I haven't even sent out yet. And I can say, oh, yeah, we did just lock one up in Maryland Heights today, and here it is.
Your network is your net worth.
Yes, gosh. I knew that was going to come sooner or later.
That's what she said.
Yeah, okay.
How about that's all you can say for the rest of this show?
Let's play the
You just
quiet
have
game.
to say one-liners. That'd be hard to communicate, but you could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Where there's a will, there's a way.
We'll keep working through with Andrew here, but if you got questions for a gentleman that's wholesaled 400 houses over the past couple of years, throw it in the chat box. We'll get to your questions. A lot of good insight here from Andrew.
We do have the program set up that the more you double tap the screen and give it likes, your questions kind of show up here a little bit better. So I'll go back to the one-liners now.
Okay, sounds good. So, not all is. Do we always accept the highest offer? No. And what are some other things that we look for when reviewing offers from investors?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is financing.
Yeah.
I would say we try to avoid a financing contingency if we can, whether that's hard money or a construction loan.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Cash. Cash is king. Where were you with that one? But yeah, no finance contingency.
It's my job to do those. You just answered the damn question.
No finance contingency. Another one we've run into a lot lately is kind of title companies. So we have title work set up on the front end that's already being done when our acquisitions guys get it under contract. Try to keep it at that same company, no matter what company it is, on the double close or assignment side. And we've had some pushback from buyers wanting to stay with their title company, which I understand. We all have business loyalties, but it makes the whole transaction easier for all parties if we just kind of keep it there. So little nuances of the deal, I think, can be really crucial in having your offer be picked over another one, even if it's a couple $1,000s lower.
Devil is in the details.
So on the title company side, what you're saying is, Andrew, like the seller has the option to choose a title company, and the buyer has the option to choose a title company.
On the retail market.
And that does not have to be the same title company, right?
Right.
So when we're doing investment transactions, a lot of times, it's an assignment or a double close, and it makes the whole process easier for everyone involved if both parties, buyer and seller, close at the same title company. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
He understood the assignment.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
So yeah, financing, title company's big. Being able to close on our established close date, which if you're cash, usually you can. But yeah, devil's in the details. Not always about the money.
Man, you
Timing
guys
is everything.
Okay. I can't take this. You guys got to stop.
You told me to do it.
All right, please stop. We can do it. We can do it later.
Okay, fine.
All right, a couple questions. I don't know if I know this answer. I don't know if Andrew knows this answer. Maybe Sam, you do. Does Andrew know if the same laws and regulations apply to Canada as it does in the States?
Yes. So Canada is very, very similar to the U.S. housing system. The only difference that I know, because we have students in Canada and I've talked to people in Canada, the biggest difference in Canada is their banking system. So they have 5 banks. That's it, like 5 big banks that have branches and things like that. So their banking system is not deregulated like ours. You can't just start a bank up there. So other than that, it's pretty much the same. I don't know the exact nuances, but you can wholesale, you can flip, you can buy rentals, you can do the Burrs method, you can do everything in Canada you can do down here. You just have to work with those banks.
Okay.
So that's the biggest
do you
difference.
know if they do like a product for the Burrs, one of those banks?
Oh yeah,
do?
oh
Okay.
100%. I know a lot of people that have, or somebody in CG has like 250 houses in Canada as
Dang.
rental property, so you can for sure do it.
Nice. Super cool. Great
Yep.
answer, Sam.
Thanks, bro.
It's much better than a one-liner.
I know.
Yeah. All right, what else you got from Mr. Burtt here, Sam?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Andrew, let's talk a little bit about your flips that you've done. How many flips have you done?
I'm just wrapping up my second.
How did that one go?
Not great.
Was it an accidental flip?
Yes.
What is an accidental flip?
An accidental flip is when you buy your first rental property and there's more repairs than you had planned on, so you decide to flip it, and then more repairs pile onto that, and you're still trying to flip it.
How much are you going to make on this?
Not any money.
Are you going to lose any money?
Maybe $2,000 to $3,000.
That's not too bad.
It's not terrible. It's
Yeah.
not great.
No.
But
How many separate times have you listed this house?
twice.
Why did you have to take it down and then relist it? What did you do incorrectly the first time?
The first time, like I said, I bought it as a rental, added the dining room as a 3rd bedroom to have more bedrooms, obviously. I did just a light rehab, paint, fixtures, kitchen appliances, and counters. The basement needed about $8,000 more than I planned on in my initial walkthrough, and the detached garage was in much worse shape than I also planned on with termite and water damage. So the occupancy inspector for that municipality had some requests that were going to take a while. A new roof on that garage, new structural. I needed engineering report, architectural drawings. I ended up refinishing the floors after the occupancy inspection. So basically, it became a full-blown flip after the occupancy inspector came through.
In hindsight, would you have done a lot of that on the front end before you listed it the first time? Or? Yeah.
I put it up in November to try to beat the holidays and see if I could just dump it before the end of the year, before Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I had what I thought was a good offer at like $150,000 to get rid of it. They ghosted. The occupancy inspection came back pretty big. So I spoke with some of our good agents here in the office, and they said it's probably best to just take it down through the holidays, get your repairs done, do it right, stage it. So I did that, and it actually sold when I relisted it in like 2 days. And now I have the buyer's inspection. The cast iron's cracked under the foundation, so we're going to be digging up that basement floor. And I'll be hopefully rid of it here in about 30 days. March 21st or something.
Yeah, that's more than 30 days.
Yeah.
So
More like 45.
Yeah. But I would have had to, if I wanted to keep it as a rental, which at this point it's a really solid house, I would have to leave close to $30,000
in order to get it to cash flow and in
Yeah.
general, just to get the bank financing that you need. Yeah.
Yeah, the bank would refi, and I would be in it to about $30,000 more than they'd refinance.
Don't do that.
Especially not for your first one. I think it's
No.
worth, breaking even, cutting your losses, and moving on to a fresh new project.
My first one went so well, though, I feel like I'm paying the piper on the second one.
You'll talk about your first one a little bit.
My first one was in a really nicer part of town, I would say, than this one, and got in and out in, 3 months with a pretty cosmetic rehab roof and all that. And that one went the first weekend as well. Escalation clause kicked in, so it went over asking price, which was nice. So
How much did you make on that one?
We netted like a little over 50, almost 55 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So if I lose 2 or 3 on this one, it was still
a net positive.
net positive. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I
Nice,
saw that
man.
positive. I like it.
I like it. So, you're a disposition manager, but you come across a lot of houses to buy because of so many connections you have with real estate agents all over our city.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not just real estate agents, investors all over our city.
Yeah.
So, normally, how many houses did you purchase as an investment last year?
Oh, I didn't buy as many as I should have. I only bought like 6 or 8 last year.
But still, 5 to 10, you're gonna just kind of run into.
Yeah.
Super cool. And you just ran into 7
Yeah.
7 houses.
Yep.
And this is a super interesting deal.
Yeah.
And maybe one that makes our cheeks a little tight, but also one that gets us super excited about what the possibilities. Just walk us through this deal, everything from how you found it, what the deal is, what our plan is, everything.
So it was brought to me by an agent who is also an investor who also does a lot of bank-owned REO type stuff, real estate-owned, bank-owned. So he called me on a Sunday a few weekends ago, and I missed it, so he texted me and said, hey, I have a deal. It's 7 houses in this certain area, University City, close to Olivet. Would you be interested? And I said, of course. So we caught up the next day, and he said, hey, there's a lot of kind of fine print with this deal, but the short story is that there's a new development there, and a big local developer was going to go in and buy up these 16 houses on this little street, level them, and put in a high-rise luxury apartment complex. But their plans changed because some other anchor stores, grocery stores, and a Target pulled out. So the developer with the apartments,
I didn't.
The developer with the apartments also pulled out, and they relocated. So there's they were only able to acquire 7 of the 16 that they were going to eventually level for the apartments. So now these 7 houses have been sitting vacant for anywhere from 1 to 5 years, and that developer brought him to our guy's partner, who called me, and he said, actually, you guys are the only ones I'm going to send these to because I know that you're no BS. You will close. You won't shop them, even though I know that's your actual job is to shop properties. You're not going to shop these. So he also said, here's the price per house. My partner wanted me to come to you higher, but again, I don't want to go back and forth. So here's the price. If you can do it, great. I think you'll be able to. So I went and looked at one, and I was like, this is definitely a deal. I had to run that afternoon, so I went back with Dusty and our project manager, Ryan, and we walked the additional 6 and made the numbers dance a little. To your point with the tight cheeks, I think we'll be good. But we came across about $590K rehab budget for these 7 houses combined.
Yeah. What is it, like?
80 grand a house.
It's like 80 house.
Yeah.
One of them's 100. A couple of them are 75.
We'll
the rest
put
are
some
like
money
85.
in that neighborhood, gents.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I think the cool part about this deal, or one of the cool parts, a lot of cool parts, but we've been living by integrity for a long time. We do the right thing. We built a good reputation. And that is the sole reason, and your relationship with the gentleman, that we're able to get this deal. They're not shopping it to anybody else because it is on them to execute a few stipulations that the city and the development put into place. And if they don't own it, they have to have someone else execute these things that they said to do. And they only trusted us to get those done.
Yes.
Relationships or relationships?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, I think in general, this goes to show that real estate investing is a relationship business. Lucas and I talk about this a lot, and I get a lot of comments on nobody would ever give me $26 million in loans, or nobody would ever do that. It takes time to do these things. If you had just met this gentleman, you wouldn't have sent you this deal, but the fact that you built a relationship. So it's super important to build relationships with people and continue to, kind of groom that relationship, because it could turn into a lot one day. Just because you don't get something out of a relationship right away doesn't mean you won't in the future. I think this is a perfect example of that, because I think this is kind of risky, but I also think that there's a potential big win at the end of this one, right?
Yeah, shuffle some into the marketing budget if we have to.
Yeah, for sure. I think, if you're going to take risk, which is what real estate investing is, right? You got
Life's a risk.
Yeah, what is that word? Calculated risk, right? That's all we're doing is evaluating risk. So the larger the risk, the bigger the opportunity on the back end has to be. You don't want to be taking large risks for a very minimal return. So this one has an opportunity for a fantastic return for us.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andresha. I think she's going to be joining the community, by the way. I've been chatting with her on Instagram, so I want to give her a shout out.
Yeah, very cool.
What's up, Andresha?
Yeah, thanks
I
for
see
the
high-fiving in there, too.
Up. Yeah, very cool. But yeah, so it's 7 houses on a one cul-de-sac street. There's probably 12 houses total or something
16.
16 total. So
Yep.
we're almost half of the neighborhood, and buying them for $190 a piece, give or take.
Mhm.
They need 75. The recent comp sold for
$355.
$355. So on
And
all
we're
of
putting
them.
a lot of eggs in that one comp on that street.
But
basket.
our houses are even better than that comp.
Yeah, that comp is like the average of all these. We have a couple bigger.
Yeah.
We have a few the exact same, and a couple that are slightly smaller.
Well, and we're going into spring. Like hopefully these
yeah.
things will be listed in
Yeah.
the early summer, late spring. I mean, the market's going to be hot. It's hot almost every spring, even during like down times of spring is always usually pretty hot.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be cool because there's 7 within a stone's throw of each other.
Yeah.
Right? So we can mobilize certain trades and contractors at a time. So because it's 7 houses, it's not going to take the time to do 7 houses like back to back to back to back. It's going to be done simultaneously.
Yeah.
Almost probably the same length of time as one house because
Yeah.
it's going to be landscape all at once. It's going to be demo all at once.
Yeah.
It's going to be painting
That's
all at
called
once. Flooring.
efficiency.
Yeah.
Roofs? Or is
Yeah,
it
roofs
or
will-
roofs?
It's a roof.
Roofs.
There's no V. I don't think it
VES.
changed.
Like hooves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Exactly.
don't think so. Stones throw away. You know what got me thinking of? Who could throw a rock the furthest out of all 3 of us?
Me.
Who do you think?
Right now, I'd say me.
I'd say me. Not even that close.
At this point, it's definitely me.
I bet it's me, you.
What do you guys do?
We did the egg toss out there, and I chucked an egg damn near Highway 40.
Do you guys practice like throwing rocks? Is that
Yeah.
like a thing you
I
guys
just got
do?
a cannon, bro.
You
Yeah,
used to
book
have
it.
a below average arm, but now it's
Way above average arm.
All
All
right.
of our shoulders are shot.
Yeah,
probably,
this
too.
at least it's my left shoulder. I got a cannon, bro. Bring it.
You got something. All right, keep the comments going.
I would say last thing on this is I feel like it snowballs the whole integrity, doing what you say you're going to do, telling
Yeah.
people about real estate is like, we're going to do this, and who knows down the road another development deal doesn't happen. Like, FasterHouse, they just did 7 on
Yeah.
that one street. They closed, they honored a contract that isn't even really ours. It's
Yeah.
like 2 steps removed from us at this point.
Yep.
And we're still put it in our contract that we would do everything the original developer said they would do.
You're 100% right, Andrew, and I think it gives us the opportunity to, because we know it's a done deal. Like, we know we're going to execute. We know this is going to be a profitable venture for us, but it's going to be. We need to step up our game to promote this project because it's super cool and get to let other people know that we can do this, so we can get that deal flow as well.
Yep.
Be awesome content as well.
For your new channel, Walls.
For sure. Some sort of press release I think would be super cool for this. And I think like it's almost like a new construction subdivision with a whole bunch of spec houses, right? We're gonna park the tiny house that Burtt can't sell like right out front of the
Does
street.
anybody buy a tiny house?
Yeah, that's
At
a good
Faster
point.
Deals.
Yeah. Andrew at Faster Deals. If you're looking to buy a tiny house, that's a great deal.
Or any house. If you're looking to invest in
well, I mean, yeah, but
St. Louis in general, right?
yeah, but I mean, we need to get rid of that damn hot tiny
Yeah.
house.
I know. I keep meaning to
FasterDeals.com.
introduce
Are you gonna
myself
buy
on
it
the
again
Faster
next year
Freedom.
if we sell it? If we
Next
don't have
year,
it
how about
sold?
next month, dude?
Yeah, not if we don't
soon.
have it sold, no, obviously.
Okay.
But
Wacky. I think we need one of those wacky inflatable
Yes.
guys out front of our street.
yeah.
Well, in general, yes, I think getting this out there would be good because it just shows people, because not that many people have the ability to close on a deal like this and actually rehab and do it the
Yeah.
right way and not like just half-ass it.
Yeah, very cool. It's a cool structure too. We're utilizing a bank for the purchase and the construction, using a construction loan. So we'll be doing the draw process and utilizing some private lenders in the mix too to help fund some of the down payments. So it's fun. It's a fun deal structure. It's a fun deal. yeah, we're looking forward to showing you guys some progress as we move along. We're closing like March 8th, so it's going to start here quick.
For sure. Probably landscape cleanup starts next week.
Nice. Yeah.
Shelly Callie says bright in there, Samuel. It's called Frame Fridays, and I wear sunglasses on our Friday show. So just deal with it. What is the interest with a private money lender? Real quick question. That is usually 8 to 12% annualized is per typical. All right, Andrew, for a new anybody watching on here, there's a schemer. Anybody watching on here, how many, isn't that wild? That's our name. Anybody watching on here that wants to, do their first deal in 2024. Wholesaling, flipping, renting, doesn't even matter. They want to get in real estate. What are a couple things that you would tell them that they can do right now to kind of move the needle as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I would say get your ducks in a row in terms of where you're finding deals. If you have a few wholesalers or a few local companies like us, whatever it is, have a couple deal streams coming in, line up your funding, whether it's hard money, home equity loan, construction loan, whatever that looks like. Maybe you have a couple different options, private lender, obviously. Contractors is a big one. We've had people they find the deals, they have the money, then they buy the house and they're not really sure who's going to do the work. Yeah. So if you can have all of your ducks in a row, and then honestly, the hardest part sometimes is just taking action. Just put in an offer, do your walkthrough, non-contingent. I know it's scary, but just do it. And is that too crazy?
No, it's not. So we talked about this last night, which I know you weren't there. So what percentage of you would you say taking action is of being successful and like learning something? Man. We have a number. I know the number, so I'm interested if you know it or not.
It's over 50. Fact. It's got to be over 50.
Yes. How much over 50?
I'm thinking like 65.
Ooh, it's not a real number, but we say what I've said, and I've talked to students. We say last night that like getting knowledge and understanding the process, you can only learn like how to do it 20%. We say 80% is actually doing it. And I did an analogy like last night. You can't hit a home run with your bat on your shoulder.
That's right. That's right.
You like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You can strike out with your bat on your shoulder.
You can. Yep. You got to swing. You got to swing. You used to strike out looking all the time with your damn knuckleball. Cool. All right. So Andrew, we're gonna rock into because our time is a little bit off because you were late because you're an old man. We're gonna rock into the Would You Rather segment. This is brought to you by Prime Corporate Services. What does Prime Corporate Services do, Walls?
They do a lot of different stuff, right? They're a pretty large company that has great customer service. All right.
500 employees, I think.
500 employees. That's amazing, but not like overly large where you get lost in the shuffle.
Correct.
Great customer service. Just starting off, they have consulting. Number one, to set up your accounting structure, your LLC structure. So they'll set up an LLC for you, super cheap. It's like the cheapest thing I've ever seen. And they have experts in house that can do it for you, and they do it at volume. That's why they can do it so cheap. We saw the quote to set up something of ours. We're like, this has to be wrong. Like before, they were like a true partner of ours, and no, they just do so many of them. That's how they make their money. So super cheap. Set up an LLC, set up a holding company if you need to do any of that. They can understand your bookkeeping for you. They can do your bookkeeping for you, I believe.
Bookkeeping, tax prep, tax filing, everything.
Yeah, and they can get that all set up with a free introductory call with one of their consultants and figure out what kind of help you need and how they can provide that help for you.
Yep, and the link's in the show notes or the description. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook, and by the way, if you're on Facebook right now, that is obviously not me. That is a scammer. I don't have a WhatsApp account. But anyways, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, just DM me the letters LLC, and I'll send you the information. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description. And if you're listening, it is in the show notes.